Friday Night Live radio here on UCY.TV. Thanks, Josh, for that show just before mine. And here we are, Boiler Room. I am your host, Jim Funke, as usual. And over there on the East Coast is Lance Musser. Good evening, Lance.
Good evening.
How are you?
Wet. Cold. A little under the weather anyway, so it hadn't been a beautiful day outside by any means.
Oh, no. No rubbing butts today.
No rubbing butts today. I wouldn't want to try it out in this weather.
No. It'd be hard to keep that thing at the right temperature, wouldn't it? I mean, if there was like,
on the pork bong, yes.
Right.
But with the Traeger, the electric grill.
Oh yeah, that's automatic.
You could set that thing wherever you wanted and you wouldn't have any problems with it no matter how cold it was. I tried it.
How much are those Traegers?
$800.
That's expensive. That's expensive for a little bitty grill.
It is a little bitty grill too, because you can only fit about $6 on it, and you can't even grill a steak because it's a smoker.
That's all it does.
That's all it does.
And then you got to buy the pellets too. You got to buy the special pellets, and that's expensive.
I buy the regular wood stove pellets that you use to heat your house, and there's no difference. And it's $5 for 40 pounds as opposed to $20 for 10 pounds of the actual Traeger pellets. It's like buying a Crest toothbrush, and then they say you can only use it with Crest toothpaste. Come on. Really?
Yeah.
So, but you're right. You do have to put pellets in it, but it's a great grill. Smoker. I have no problems with it. I love it to death.
It's expensive. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I got it for a great deal. I got it for $300. So, I mean, I stole it basically. But Dave, he's been on the show. He sold it to me.
Yeah.
He bought it thinking he could grill a steak, and you can't because it's a smoker.
Whoops. So let me take a 50% hit in this and sell it to my friend.
Yes, but I told him
because I couldn't grill a steak.
Every time I make pork, he'll always get some. Oh yeah. So, I give him some. So
yeah, but you're
we worked out
too,
an agreement there. Yeah, we worked out something there.
That's cool. All right, man. So let's kick this baby off. We're 4 minutes into the show, and it's time for Smoke'em's Market Minute.
Absolutely. Just the breaking, in case anybody hadn't seen it, it's on every single screen actually that I'm on right now. The Malaysian airline flight loses contact with Beijing flight 239. I guess there's a flight they just lost contact with that went down or something.
Oh shit! A Chinese flight?
Yeah. Malaysian Airlines, and they can't contact Beijing flight carrying 239 people.
Oh boy.
I'm sure if you go to Twitter or something, you'll be able to see it because it's on every single screen I'm on right now.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, does it say if it's like out over the Pacific?
No, it doesn't say here. Not on this. It was just breaking news, and it's just they've made an announcement that they just lost contact with it, totally lost contact. Which if you remember, 9/11, they totally lost contact with it all too. So.
Yeah, let me pop this off real quick.
Please.
Authorities have begun searching for Malaysia Airlines flight. Oh, it's a Malaysia Airlines, yeah. Mm-hmm. Flight MH370 bound for Beijing after air traffic controllers lost contact with the airliner carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew early Saturday morning. So that's tomorrow. Wow, we're in a time warp. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 lost touch with Subang air traffic control around 2:40 local time Saturday morning. So I guess they're on Greenwich Mean Time or UTC.
Greenwich, yeah.
The aircraft, Kuala Lumpur International Airport, it left Kuala Lumpur at 0041 and was expected to land in Beijing at 6:30. The flight was carrying 227. We said, blah, blah, blah. Malaysia Airlines is currently working with authorities who have activated their search and rescue teams to locate the aircraft. So if it was going from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, it's over the Indian Ocean somewhere.
Mm-hmm. For a lot of the journey.
Correct. Not looking good.
Nope. So hopefully something will come up on that later.
I hope they find 239 people floating in life rafts waiting to be rescued.
It'd be nice.
Okay.
Never want to see anybody get killed.
No, never. Okay.
Speaking of getting killed, speaking of getting killed, the bond market got killed.
You lost some 401k money, everybody.
You did. If you had a 401k, if you got one, it definitely took a beating. And it was because of what did it say? Jobs numbers. I think it was the jobs numbers and the unemployment.
Wait till you hear Manarino's rant on that.
So I was just kind of chuckling at that myself. But the Dow, let me see up here. It was as high as 16,505 points today before it settling in at 16,452. That's an astronomical amount. If you remember, it was just below 16. A month and a half ago, 2 months ago? When
not even. The show? 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, not even. So this is kind of what, everybody's saying is especially Manarino and other people like him. This is the buildup or the calm before the storm, if you will, like before a hurricane. So let's see what happens with that. A lot of signals that the economy's, not in good shape. Bail-ins versus bailouts are getting a lot of.
Go into this in depth, Mama.
Yeah,
Mama, pay attention to the difference in between a bail-in and bailout. Go, Lance. Go.
Okay, there is a lot of interest in Europe right now, and looking at America, the move towards bail-ins, in a way, from government bailouts. And it continues to evolve. And yesterday's credit rating company, Standard & Poor's, S&P, warned that this lead to credit ratings for European banks by being slashed over 1 or 2 notches. And the future, rather than banks
becoming 1 or 2 notches, like going from a AAA to a B?
Yes, that's what they mean.
Wow.
So in the future, rather than banks becoming insolvent and being liquidated and wound up as happened through history, bail-ins will force losses on banks' creditors, including depositors, as was seen in the testing ground for the bail-in. That was Cyprus. Central banks and regulators now think that rather than governments and taxpayers bearing the cost of rescuing failing banks, now creditors, including depositors, will suffer.
Which is the taxpayers. They're just, instead of incrementally over 35 years,
right.
They're taking it all from you now. Right?
Bail-ins. You're right.
Yeah.
They target both the depositor and the bondholder. In some cases, bondholders are asked to defer repayment deadlines, and they can even agree to reduce their claims. Some have warned that bail-ins could damage the wider economy because you're taking our money. No kidding. So it is important that you own physical coins and bars legally in your name outside of the banking system.
Say that one more time and louder.
It is important that one owns physical coins and bars legally in your name outside the banking system.
Thank you.
Paper or electronic forms of gold investment should be avoided, as they could be subject to bail-ins also.
Like cancer.
Eat a banana. But bail-ins, I think we'll see a little bit more talk on that here in the next couple of weeks. That's definitely
on the radar,
going up. Mm-hmm. It's on the radar for sure.
People, I'm good. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, please.
No. I mean, it's just my weekly rant, my 3 times a week rant. Get your money out of the stock market, everybody. Get your 401ks in your possession where you have control of your money, because the stock market is out of control. Wall Street is out of control. Get your money safe. Get it at home, in your possession, in gold and silver, or put it in property, a greenhouse, whatever. Get your money in your control. That is all. Carry on.
The another story that's going to be gaining ground, or not a story, but a method, going to be gaining ground over this next year is what they call what do they do when they take over a property?
Foreclose?
Eminent domain.
Oh, eminent domain. Yeah, that's
eminent
how
domain.
the state comes in and takes everything you have.
Well, and here's the kicker, is that the state is coming in on the owner's behalf, ripping it from the bank and selling it back to the people at fair market value or renegotiating their loan for them. This is actually a movement right now.
The state's kicking the bank?
Right now, and the mayor of Richmond, California, has gone where no woman has dared to go before, threatening to take underwater mortgages by eminent domain from Wall Street banks and renegotiate them on behalf of beleaguered homeowners.
And where is this happening?
Richmond, California.
Richmond, California. So what immediately jumps to the forehead on this one is that this woman is digging for votes.
Well, check this out.
But I mean, she's a good deal. It's a good deal.
But hold on. A member of the Green Party, which takes no corporate campaign money.
Well, there you go.
She proved her mettle standing up to Chevron, which dominates the Richmond landscape. But banks have signaled that if Richmond or another city tries the eminent domain gambit, they will rush to court to seek an injunction. Their grounds, an unconstitutional taking of private property and breach of contract.
Oh, like their foreclosures aren't? Like when they ran up a foreclosure payment on somebody that had their house paid for 25 years and took it anyway? That's not okay, never mind.
No, and you're kind of hitting on the keys that the people have already said. Well, how we're going to come back to that is, look, you have a fraud, you manipulated everything.
Right.
These people
this has been proven.
Yeah, this is proven. You guys are, you can't say scum of the earth in a court thing, but they're not too big to fail. And because of all this money being securitized, off balance sheets and everything else, there's been a lot of times that they tried to foreclose and the owners took them to court and they said, hey, you don't prove to me that you own this house, the bank. And they couldn't. You remember hearing those stories?
Yeah, because they swapped mortgages and
the credit swap.
Yeah, the credit default swaps and derivative payoffs and blah, blah, blah.
You're exactly right. So these people are saying, hey, and it's a big long article, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. But in a nutshell, they're saying, hey, we're going to do it. And the banks, you can try taking us back to court, and here's how we're going to respond to you. But
splash some money on them lawyers. Go for it.
Well, it kind of goes back to, who controls the the court system. Who controls the judges? Do you know what bar? Yeah. Do you know what bar, when you pass the bar, it stands for? It's some accreditation over in Britain, British accreditation for, right. It means you sold your soul to the devil, basically, by passing, by getting that and becoming a judge.
He just said it. He just said it on the air. Go, Lance.
So, that's what the rumor is, at least.
Bingo.
So, I think, again, this is another story that I'm going to keep my ears open and keep my eyes open on.
Hell yeah. This chick's green party. Chick's green party. Read her name again. I want to give her some props, man.
All right. Hold on. Her name is Gail McLaughlin.
Gail McLaughlin, kudos to you, young lady, medium-aged lady, whatever you are. I still think you're grabbing for votes, but hey, you're doing it in a kick-ass way. This is give the people, this is like they're doing in Utah. They got all those homeless people in Utah, so they just decided to give them abandoned houses. Solves two problems. It's common sense solutions. Mm-hmm. Common sense. It's very sorely lacking, but hey, this is an excellent story.
Grassroots effort is what they're calling it. And they're saying this is the end of too big to fail. And actually the city council is only one vote short of a super majority needed to pursue the eminent domain plan.
That cannot be overturned. Super majorities cannot be overturned.
Right. And they're only one vote away. So,
sweet.
If they pull it off successfully, I think we'll see some other countries or counties maybe even some other states that have said, look, we're really bad. Our homeowners are bad off. Let's rock
on. You need to drop
this.
me that story later too, because I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of her info and maybe get her on here for an interview.
Okay, I will.
If she wants to get her name out there. Hey, we're worldwide, baby. Worldwide, Ms. McLaughlin. All right.
Drop it to you. And that concludes my Market Minute.
Nice. So we're going to jump over here to the YouTube and we're going to grab up some Hyper Report.
All right. I dropped that link to you in chat also.
Okay. Right on.
And Skype.
Yeah, you should have heard Manarino earlier. He's a little long-winded on this one. It's like 14 minutes almost, but we'll kind of, maybe we'll peruse through it. I don't know. We'll see. Everything's going kind of swimmingly, actually. And whoops, hey, he dropped out another one. Okay.
Really?
Well, it's just a little 17-second one. Yeah.
Oh.
The troll who flagged my video. To the troll who flagged my video. We might listen to that here in a minute. But anyway, here's his inconsistent FDA.
Hello, this is Scott and this is a Hyper Report. Here are quotes for various items. First, NSA attacks First Amendment. NSA Director Keith Alexander openly wants any speech that involves national security issues to be illegal. So apparently, if you thought the Vietnam conflict was a bad idea, it would be illegal for you to voice your opinion on it? Next, health records sellout. In the UK, personal health records appear to have been sold to Facebook and Twitter so that specific ads can target their intended audience. 47 million people don't have a clue that their hospital history has been used to target ads on Twitter and Facebook. At least we know that private health records are secured under Obama rec. Next, blocking EPA. The House GOP is moving to block the EPA from shutting down power plants across the country because of their anti-America stance. With that said, even if they succeed in passing a bill in the House, it is dead on arrival at the Senate. In short, this is just an exercise for the gullible. Next, mandate vote. A bill that allows for opting out for Obama rec passed the House by 90 votes. Again, even with the high level of support during an election year, one can expect this bill to be dead on arrival at the Senate. Next, alternatives. It appears that Obama has given up on trying to sucker the youth into signing into the Obama-Rec scheme for now. Instead, Obama is calling on all illegal aliens to sign up for Obama-Rec, saying that the information will not be used to deport them. How do you know when Obama is lying? When his lips are moving. Next, welfare pay. Have you ever wondered how much you would make by just giving up and living on welfare? Well, in 35 states, welfare payments exceeds minimum wage. For example, in Hawaii, one can get over $60,000 a year. In New York, Rhode Island, or New Jersey, it is over $43,000.
I'm going to stop that just for a second. When I heard that this morning, it made me do just that. It made me stop in my tracks. Welfare recipients. Now, I'm not talking about all of them, but a significant number of welfare recipients in the state of Hawaii receive over $60,000 a year of taxpayer money. In New York, it's upwards of $43,000 a year for nothing. Let that sink in for a minute. How much did you make this year?
At some point, it will break. Next, scientific evidence. A recent study conducted by Yale University School of Medicine proves that the FDA's approval process for testing new drugs is extremely inconsistent. For example, some drugs require high-quality clinical trials, while about a third receive approval on the basis of just one clinical trial. With the divergence of testing procedures, one term that comes to mind to describe the FDA's policies may be pay-to-play. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
Who in their right mind thinks that somebody working their ass off for $8 an hour should pay anything to someone sitting on their ass collecting $60,000 a year for nothing? That is complete insanity. Wow, man. I could not. That stopped me in my tracks today.
Yeah, when you typed it to me, I was like, really? I had to watch the story. I was like, oh.
And how broke are you people in New York? Jules? JJ? How broke is your state? $43,000 a year to a welfare recipient?
Not all of them.
Are you, well, still, I don't give a shit. One of them shouldn't make that. Not one. Not
Got
one.
That right. You got that right.
It just blows me away, man. It blows me away.
A sham. I mean, I was thinking about it earlier. Our dollar, how far we've come. I was sitting on the couch and I said, no, gas. I was thinking about gas because it was milk and I was like, I remember when I could go get $5 and fill up a 5-gallon jug of gas. Mm-hmm. 99 cents a gallon. And minimum wage.
You can't do it
then,
for $20 now. You can't get 5 gallons of gas for $20.
But look at the wages, and I think that was back in what, 1990, 92, 93, somewhere right in there. We were still paying 99 cents a gallon of gas. And I'll never forget the day that a gallon of milk was cheaper.
It was $1.45 in 2008.
Well, and that was, and I think that was manipulated to try to keep the economy afloat. I think that was a total fluke. I think it was a total fluke, by the Bush people. I looked into that a lot.
I know. It corrected itself.
It corrected itself real quick, but they artificially lowered them down to try to stave off the, illusion that there wasn't the crash coming, and look what happened.
You know how much it cost to pull a barrel, not a gallon, a barrel of oil out of the ground? You know how much it cost?
$9?
No. Just to pull it out of the ground.
Oh, I don't know.
47 cents. It cost 47 cents to pull 50 gallons. I think 50 gallons is what a barrel is, or 45 or something like that, a barrel of oil. Mm-hmm. And to refine it, I think costs $42. And they're selling a barrel now for 110, I think. Mm-hmm. Doubling their profits.
Speculators.
Doubling their profits. I don't give a shit about speculation. Well, I mean, it drives prices up and down, but still.
It does.
Doubling.
I'll never forget the day a gallon of milk was cheaper than a gallon of gas. I'll never forget that day. I was like, are you kidding me? Because never in my life.
The day I'll never forget is the day that diesel went over the price of gasoline.
$4. Yeah,
because diesel is a derivative of the production of gasoline. It's the scum that they scrape off the top when they're making refined fuel.
I don't understand.
That's diesel oil. So the shit was worth more than the cow.
I don't understand that. I remember when diesel was like almost half the price of gas.
Yeah.
And
it's garbage fuel. Everybody called it garbage fuel.
Right. But that was the draw of buying a Volkswagen, because that's about all you could buy back then, or Mercedes or something like that. But, everybody bought a Volkswagen, and that was the reason why.
They had conversion kits to turn a 350 into a diesel banger.
Well, supply and demand, because now so many more people run on, there's Jeeps, Cherokees that run on diesel. So many trucks run on diesel.
Oh, yeah, the trucking industry exploded, and that's when the price of fuel went through the roof. That's
exactly what happened. It's bullshit.
Yep.
I'm tired of these,
manipulation, dude. It's manipulation. I was talking with my mom about it earlier today. Everything you hear coming out of Wall Street is all garbage. It's all bullshit. It's manipulation. It's nothing but a handful of smart ass rich people getting more money from this country. That's the only thing that's happening on Wall Street. If you people believe anything else, you are being taken to the cleaners, because they are going to do nothing but keep taking your money until they collapse, and then they're going to take everything, because you're going to lose everything. The dollar is going to be worth zip. And if you don't believe me, go ask George Soros, because he's banking on it to the tune of $1.6 billion. He's banking on it. And I'm pretty sure everything that I've pulled up, it's by June. He wants the S&P 500 to finish at a goose egg by the end of June. Just a little heads up. If anybody's got anything that proves me wrong on that, please let me know. Because I'm betting my life on it. That man knows what's going on around this whole planet. Because he is one of the big players. Am I wrong, Lance?
Yeah, he is a player, that's for sure. He's one of the 5 or 6. Stock market, ask anybody in the room, ask anybody on the street, ask anybody at office, ask anybody in the supermarket. Hey, explain the stock market to me. Nobody can. But the people
on Wall Street can't explain the stock
market. They can't
market.
even, but guess what? They're the ones making all the money. So the ones that are making all the money can't even explain it to you. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Oh my God. It's way beyond that, dude. It's way beyond that.
And
you all right
like we said on the last show, somebody's out to try to sink our economy too.
Imagine that. China, Russia, been buying gold like madmen for several years, and every ounce of gold that gets bought is a bet against this economy. Even if it's local here, even if you're buying it, it's a bet against this economy. It's a bet against the dollar, because the dollar's got nothing backing it, nothing but somebody's word. The full faith and credit of the United States government. Well, how much credit did we have, folks, up there on Capitol Hill? Explain that to me. You're backing my deposits in the bank to the tune of $250,000 with your full faith and credit. How much credit you got being 17 trillion in debt and rolling? Let's add those derivatives in there. Let's call it 600 trillion just to be round about it. So you're $600 trillion in debt up there on Capitol Hill, and you're going to tell me that you're going to guarantee my money to $250,000? Oh, excuse me. That struck me as funny. So how exactly are you going to back that? You're going to print some more money? You're going to fire up those presses? Chop down some more trees?
Fire them up. They haven't stopped running.
Yeah, right.
They're running 24 hours a day.
Every third dollar that they make digitally, they have to have a physical one to cover it. Every third dollar. So that means that even if they tried to print up the debt, they'd only print up about, 6 trillion in actual cash. The rest of it's all zeros and ones on a computer somewhere.
Okay, now, you just said that, and let me ask you a question.
Go for it. I might not have the answer you want, but...
You might not. Mount Gox, is that the name of it?
Yeah, that's the geek gaming site. Now, if you guys don't know what Mount Gox stands for, MTGOX is Magic the Gathering Online Exchange, MTGOX. So that came from a bunch of 16-year-old kids playing Magic the Gathering online. They designed this online exchange, and then they decided to start trading Bitcoins on it.
Right. So why did they file bankruptcy?
Because they don't have the goddamn money to back it.
Because $500 million came up missing.
Disappeared. Now
Just
this
disappeared.
This currency that they're, Nathan Fraser, if you want to call in, I don't know if you're listening to my show tonight, but you're pushing this Bitcoin thing, man, and I really got to question why. I really, really got to question why. Because I just saw a story drop since we're going on, and I don't know, you got something farther you want to go on Mt. Gox?
Well, what I'm kind of correlating to, or postulating, as you always like to say, is what if that was the test run of, what if all the money in these banks just disappeared because of a cyber attack, because of something? I've always said that martial law has to come down to a financial collapse to where the sheeple are begging.
It has to come down to a false flag.
Yeah. Yes, the sheeple have to beg for martial law. Martial law has to be our idea. We have to demand it because, there's chaos in the streets or whatever the case may be. So, what if it all just disappears digitally, just like that 500 million did at the Bitcoin stuff at the Mt. Gox? We've already know that the correlation between the dollar and the Bitcoin, it's all digital currency anyway. Yeah, we got some paper rolling around, but there's a Bitcoin rolling around too. So, it could be a test run, like a Boston Marathon.
Yeah, that's true. The one big difference between the Bitcoins that are rolling around, the physical coins, is that they are imprinted with a number, and once that number is spent, they're no good anymore. Not like a dollar. Right. A dollar transfers hands, and it's still a dollar. It's backed by nothing. It's worth the paper that it's printed on, not even.
Yeah,
but
I choose rather not to believe either one of them or trust either one of them.
Hell no. If you trust Bitcoin, folks, I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you because it's easier to lose that shit than it is to lose dollars in your wallet right now.
However, if I would have been able to look into my crystal ball, I would have bought it when it was like $43 or something like that. And then tried to unload it when it was
I almost grabbed a couple when it was 100. I almost grabbed a couple when they were $100. And I didn't.
You would have been smart enough to dump it when it got up to, you probably would have dumped it well before it got up to the high, because I think you would have said, oh, it ain't going anymore. It ain't going anymore.
Once I got to about triple my money, I would have dumped it.
Yeah, I think 700. So I wish I would have got in it a year and a half ago, but there's no way I'd be in it now.
I just wanted to get one of those coins. I was going to buy a couple of those physical coins, cause I wanted them in my pocket, just like a good luck charm or whatever.
Pretty cool.
And I looked them up and they were $100. I was like, shit, $100, man. That thing's not even real silver or nothing. It's just a coin.
Today, 400 change still. I don't know.
I don't pay attention to coins.
Me either.
Max Kaiser's got his own Bitcoin out, his own Max Coin or whatever they're calling it. He's getting into this digital currency thing too. And he's just touting the shit out of it. He thinks it's going to be the death of the dollar. Look,
something is going to be.
Okay, well, what I was just getting ready to say a minute ago before I let you roll off on the Mt. Gox thing was that I saw a story today or yesterday, I can't remember, I think it was today, that Matamura, the guy that supposedly invented this Bitcoin, is now saying, that ain't mine.
He's coming out because he's disputing the Newsweek story that came out, because there was supposedly a big Newsweek story that put him in a bad light.
Well, if he's saying the Bitcoin's not mine, I didn't design that. I didn't write that program. I got nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. But, and I saw another story, and this has been quite a while back, I'm saying 6 weeks or so, that tied Bitcoin to the British monarchy.
I saw that too.
So I just there's too many hinky things about this whole deal. And the whole about electronic currency, solar flare, everybody. I mean, if everything goes up in smoke and there's no more electricity for 5 years or whatever, what are you going to do with it, man? Are you going to shit? What are you going to do with it? You got no access to it. You got nothing. You got nada. You got I don't trust nothing but gold and silver, baby, and copper and lead and things that project lead. I mean, that's it. That stuff's been around for millennia. Mm-hmm. Shit, they used to trade seashells, for Christ's sake. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's whatever, whoever finds it valuable, I reckon, and after the dollar collapses, there'll still be some people out there that'll take cash money because they'll still think it's going to come back. It ain't coming back.
Not as the dominant currency, but again, I've equated it to, unless there is a new world order, one world, one currency thing, it would be just like having a German mark or an Australian dollar or a peso.
It might be worth something in this country.
Yeah. It'll be worth something on a market, but it'll lose its trading status as the, reserve currency, if you will, unless they go to an all one currency.
And for a minute, it's going to be Weimar Republic. I mean, you're going to have a truck bed load of cash to go get your groceries for the week. You know what I mean? It's going to be ridiculous. The cost of the value of the dollar is going to be below the toilet.
Yeah, and if it ever came to like that, you'd have so many people that couldn't afford groceries that when you walked out of the grocery store and got to your car, you'd be beat up and mud. Done. Yeah, you'd be shot before you got up there because,
there'd be hordes of starving people.
Mm-hmm. Guards at the doors, keeping people out.
Because right before the dollar collapses, you can bet your ass there's going to be a bunch of bail-ins.
Unless you have your RFID chip, then maybe you can, get your government money. You can still get your government money.
Your Obama tattoo on your forehead.
With your chip.
Can I have my block of cheese, please? Oh boy. So we're like 40 minutes into the show already almost. You want to roll this man, Reno? He's 13 minutes and 38 seconds. I mean, it's about Putin and how Putin's making Bronco look like a sissy and, how Putin's got control of everything. I mean, I agree with Greg on one point that he makes in this. Putin's 10 steps ahead of everybody. And I said this yesterday in the room. I typed it in the room. Putin's playing for keeps and Barry's playing a game.
Yeah, we keep talking about it then.
Barry's playing a game. And he don't even know the freaking rules to the game that he's trying to play. He's doing what he's told to do. I grant you that. But still, this is going to go.
Did you see the bomber?
Very bad.
Did you see the bomber story?
No.
And I don't believe this. They showed satellite, and that's why I'm thinking it's propaganda. But and I'm trying to find it here. But they showed the satellite view of this one base near the southern end of Russia, and it had two bombers out there. And then in the next satellite
big bears.
View, yes. Oh. And then in the next satellite view, it had 40 of them, 30 or 40 of them that showed them all on the runway, ready to be lined up. And I, the more I was reading it, I was like, this has got to be propaganda because
well, they just did some big exercise not too long ago where they had half the Russian military was doing exercises along the borders.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was all prep for this. It was getting everybody all jacked up and, let's go play war games, man. Now let's go do it for real. That kind of thing. So I don't put anything past them, man. I really,
here it is.
I don't know what to believe and what not to believe.
30 nuclear Russian bombers amassed at an airfield adjacent to Russia's Borzya-Blazhek national level nuclear weapons storage facility.
Who dropped this?
Let's see here. Hold on. Oops. Wrong button. Hold on.
Hate them buttons.
Yeah, no kidding. Susan Duclos.
For who? For who she write?
It was a YouTube vid that I saw.
Oh, for Vanna.
And that's, and that's why I was like, it could be propaganda, but they are definitely.
Look in the about section and see if she's got a tag to go to that story.
Okay, hold on.
See if she pulled it off somebody's, write up. Cause I don't want to drop any disinfo on my show. No. Not unless I put it out there. If I make the disinfo, then y'all got to listen. But if it's somebody else's.
AJ. Yeah,
no.
Called AJ.
No. A who? A hole.
Yeah, it says they're strategic bombers. And actually, this guy says you can Google these coordinates right here and find them yourself. But who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I do think, like we talked the other day, that his goal is the whole goal in all this. I kind of look at the same way that the Republicans laid down to the Democrats over different budgets and everything like that. Same way that he's laying down to Putin. I mean, there's no winner in a war. If we go over their missiles and everything else, there's no winners right off the bat.
Right.
So I'm not for that in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Peace and love, man.
Peace and love is exactly right. But here's the thing. We say this all the time. I say this all the time. This country is a laughing stock in the face of the rest of the planet. And everybody knows it. Everybody that lives here knows it. Everybody that's paying attention knows it anyway. Putin has this whole deal right in his lap. He's right where he wants to be. He's like the cock on the walk, if you will. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that there's anything. Those are the coordinates, anybody, if they want to go hit that GPS spot and take a look at them bombers. I think that Google Earth can swap images anytime they want, but
anytime they want, yeah.
So I don't think that there's anybody that's going to stand up to him. I don't think there's anybody that wants the UN. That's a joke. NATO, joke. You know, he has so many other countries on his side, and the amassed amount of people and firepower that he can pull into his. How does the government put it? The coalition, his coalition.
Oh, his pact. He's bringing back the Warsaw Pact.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Soviet
man. I mean, you know, look, all it's going to take is him and China and Russia. Well, China, Russia, Iran. China, Russia, Iran. And you're going to get a whole other plethora of people that'll, you know, Assad's going to say, hey, I'm in the game. Let's go. You know, and then we'll switch out. Come on. And who's going to stand up to him, man? You know, if NATO starts flicking boogers, then we're really right at World War III. I mean, that's what I said last week. We're right on the brink of this thing coming apart.
Yeah.
He's trying to cut that country in half. He really is trying to cut that country in half because he wants access to all the waterways. He wants access to that river that cuts the country in half because that's one of the major transportation routes. All of the pipelines run through the south side of that country. And that's what he wants. He everything from that river north, they'll bomb the shit out of it. I don't know. I might be completely wrong, man. I might be, but you know, Crimea, they just signed over everything to Putin.
Man, he bombed the shit out of that country next door to him a couple years ago. I mean, just like we did, Baghdad. Right. I mean, he did it for like 10 days.
Right.
Georgia, is that where it was? Georgia?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
South Ossetia.
Yeah, he shot lots of missiles and killed lots of people with those missiles. I mean, he destroyed a lot of buildings, infrastructure, and everything else, so they were targeted. But he's already done it, so why wouldn't he do it again?
Exactly right. Why wouldn't there be a bunch of Tupolev bears loaded and ready? I don't think they're nuclear. I mean, that's what they carry their nuclear payloads on, is those big bears. But I doubt he's going to start dropping nukes when he's downwind.
No.
Somebody might. Israel might. Just to play, you know, just to throw a checker on the board, you know.
You start throwing nukes around, though, there's no need to even, be doing any of this. If you're going to use a nuke, there's no need to be trying to take over a property or, a country.
Because you're not going to be able to inhabit it.
Exactly. It's all moot after we start using nuclear weapons on everything. So I don't think that's in anybody's plan. Watch out for that crazy guy, because every time the attention gets diverted from that little short guy up in North Korea, you know, he starts.
He shot off a couple missiles not too long ago.
He did. Yeah, last week.
And then Putin come out and threw an ICBM.
Fired a few more. Yep, fired a few more.
Well, just one, but it was a long range one. Intercontinental.
You know that ship that we have that ran aground in Turkey? Are you familiar with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why it ran aground?
Nope.
Because according to some treaty from the 50s, unless you have a country on the Black Sea, you're not allowed to be in the Black Sea for more than 14 days or whatever it is.
Right.
So the rest of the crew had already moved out of the Black Sea. This one conveniently ran aground, so it couldn't leave the Black Sea. So I think that's why it's there. I think it was all they ran it aground.
Oh, it got its anchor stuck on the bottom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got you.
So yeah, I mean, because without
we can't leave it, man. It's expensive.
There,
we can't leave it. You want me to drop the chain? Are you serious?
Something happening. They would have had to vacate because of that treaty of 1956 or something. I can't remember what it was.
There's a bunch of our ships steaming toward the Black Sea right now. And here's something else I heard, and I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
There's some in it. No, there's some in it.
Well,
I
yeah,
saw
but we
that
got
on
some,
my local news.
right. We got some moving toward that direction too, though.
More. Yes.
Yeah. So, and here's something else I heard, and I haven't seen anything to verify this, so I don't know. Maybe you have, but I heard that Putin has scuttled a couple of vessels in the openings of the waterways so that nothing can come out the riverway into the Black Sea, and nothing can go up either.
Wouldn't put it past them, but no, I hadn't heard that.
But man, that's going to be expensive to pick them bad boys up off the bottom when they get ready to open it back up, right? I mean, you scuttled a ship? Are you really serious? You scuttled a ship to stop movement. Maybe it was to block submarine travel. I don't know. I don't know how deep that river is. I don't have any clue. I don't know any of the topography in Ukraine. Sorry. But anyway, I just heard a blurb about it, and Manarino mentioned it too. I've heard it on two different things on YouTube, but it's so, I don't know. We're kind of out of time to play Manarino because we're right at the end, If I played it, it'd take us right to the end. But that, nice. He had some good stuff to say. He's telling me, everything that I've been telling y'all. I'll go ahead and drop his, I'll drop it into the chat room in case anybody wants to go watch it. I don't know if anybody pays attention to him, but anyhow.
They should, just for the simple fact of he's going to be the one, that sees that reports it first. He's going to be one of the first ones to report how depth it is.
Bitch. It's not posting in the room.
It's the van down the street. They're blocking you.
I see that. There's no block Manarino? Come on.
There's no block there.
Oh, wait a minute. I think this is why. Because I was trying to drop his channel and not.
Oh, instead of the picture like you always do.
Video. Not the individual video. Here we go. I'll drop it now. Please, everybody, pay attention to what's going on in the world. I know everybody's got distractions. I know everybody's got a life to lead. I know everybody's got Girl Scout cookies to deliver and birthday parties and work schedules and vacation schedules, and it's more than just like I think the last show I was harping on situational awareness, knowing your surroundings, knowing what's going on around you, especially when you're walking through parking lots and crowds of people and stuff. Mm-hmm. But this kind of situational awareness is world based, because even though it's happening 6,000 miles away or whatever, it affects everything you do every day. It affects the price of stuff. It affects your ability to, get your money out of the bank on occasion. Price of fuel, price of commodities, because there's nothing. Everything comes into this country. There's nothing made in this country anymore. So, when somebody starts throwing the word around war or invasion or something like that, and it ticks the stock market down, everything else takes a hit too. It affects you whether you believe it or not, whether you realize it or not, whether you want to admit it or not.
Can I expand on that?
Yeah.
Top 10 ways to screw the system. Shop local, boycott corporations, and vote with your money. Number 2, grow a garden, eat organic, and build your community around food. Become self-sustainable. Be independent in food, water, and energy. Protect the children. Don't vaccinate, medicate, or mutilate kids. Go homeopathic. Use cannabis and refuse prescription medication. Self-educate. Homeschool and always teach and speak truth to power. But as our lady on Wednesdays, you don't always have to homeschool. Make family priority number 1. Families that eat together, stay together. Turn off the TV. Tune out the fear, propaganda, and disinformation. Return to nature. Abandon the city life and quit the rat race. Last one. Love one another unconditionally. Realize that we are all one. No army can stop an idea whose time has come. Victor Hugo, for credit.
Nice. That was good. Thank you. I say that all the time, man. Ignore the government because they ignore you. And that's 10 great ways to ignore the government because they have absolutely nothing to do with anything on that list.
Mm-hmm.
They try to regulate and tax and whatever, but there's ways around it. You know, if you find two people of a common mind and they both want to accomplish something, they'll get it done, whether the government says they can do it or not. You know what I mean? Billy Bob needs a chicken house built, and you know how to build it, and you need some ham for your plate, and Billy Bob's got some pigs. Go build Billy Bob a chicken house and get you that ham. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Government don't know shit about it. Ain't no taxes. Ain't no bullshit. Two people shaking hands, making an agreement, and getting a job done.
The Amish way.
If you meet a man and you give him $1 and he gives you $1, you each got $1. If you meet a man and you give him an idea and he gives you an idea, you each walk away with 2 ideas.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of ways around this, man. It doesn't have to come down to 308 rounds or 223 rounds or FEMA camps or buses or guillotine trains or whatever the hell you want to think it's coming down to. It doesn't have to come down to that. There's all kinds of ways out of this. We just got to come to an agreement on what way we want to choose and implement it as quickly as possible because time is short. Time is so short that you really need to ask yourself a question. If it happens tomorrow, am I ready? If everything stops tomorrow, are you ready? If you wake up tomorrow morning and the first thing you see hit your computer screen is that the stock market is no longer open, there's been an incident or something. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready, Lance?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready, Hecty? Are you ready, Laney? 8 Hawks? Desert Hawk? JJ? Jules? Wendy? Dan? Michael? Are you guys ready? I've seen most of you in this chat room for more than the year that I've been online on this radio show. Are you guys ready? You're the choir that I'm preaching to. How ready are you? You know, last week, or I think, what was it, maybe Wednesday, I was talking about I gave up trying to wake people up. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was last Saturday, I think we were talking maybe. I've given up trying to wake people up. I'm concentrating on making sure everybody that I care for is safe. That's where my focus is. From today forward, I'm not going to be in the chat room too much. I'm not going to be on Facebook too much. I'm going to do my shows. I'm going to pass on some information to you folks. And I'm going to be concentrating on my life. I'm going to help Jules whenever I can, because I always do. I'm dedicated to this network, and everything that I can do to promote this network, I'm going to do. But I'm going to concentrate on my life for a little while. I've got several irons in the fire here that need to be handled immediately because I think things are very pressing. So if you guys don't see me a whole lot, sorry. I'm still here. Those that know how to get a hold of me can. And if anybody else needs me, get a hold of one of those people and they'll let me know. I hope you guys are ready. I firmly believe that George Soros knows what's coming. And we don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of wish it would have been a Nibiru ISON kind of thing, but it looks like it's going to be economic. We had so many choices to choose from on what was going to be our downfall here, and it looks like it's going to be the economic one first.
I was betting on the sunspot. I was betting on a
solar flare. Yeah, I was kind of betting on a solar flare too. Going back, doing a Carrington event, going back to the days of cowboys and horses. Not cowboys and Indians, but back to the horse days.
Mm-hmm. So we got about 60 seconds, man. I'm going to see if I can copy and paste this into there, but I don't think I can. Oh,
yeah, I couldn't figure out how to get that 10 things in there. I know somebody asked for it in the room, and I was trying to put it in. I just don't know how to do it.
I'll figure out a way, and I'll try to get it dropped in there by tomorrow. After the last cup is tomorrow, everybody. Make sure you tune in for that. Chuck Ocelli's show is right before that. Mm-hmm. The Ocelli Effect. You guys have got to listen to that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yes. He's a great man.
I listened to you guys last week, or the week before or something. I said, it's the same wavelength. I can see it beating along the same way all the way through.
Yeah. And he'll be joining us on After the Last Cup too. So are you going to come on tomorrow night? You going to be able to get past the bug in your gut?
I might be able to.
All right. I mean, if you got to come on from the shitter, we can let you do that.
Yeah.
Just make sure you mute the stuff in the background.
We made it through another week.
We did.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, effing ha.
How many more we got? We made it through another one.
We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Yeah, peace and love. Thanks, Lance.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah. What's next? I think. Yeah. Stay tuned.